Yo.
Yo, welcome back to episode 67 of the J&E Comic Cast.
Yes, sir.
This week, me and Egg got a lot of topics for you guys. A little bit of the usual stuff and a little bit of the non-usual stuff.
Oh.
But, Egg, since we got a strong episode this week, you ready to just go straight into it? Get into that.
Let's do it, my boy. Let's do it. I had to fix the glasses, man. I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
over here seeing blurry. Maybe it's time for a new prescription for the egg.
You got to do it. All right. To start off this week's podcast, we got Star Wars Andor episode 7.
I don't even know at this
I
point.
believe it's episode 7 that we are in. Hey, what's your thoughts on this week's episode?
You know what, man? I thought this episode was really interesting. I didn't know where they were going to go. Because obviously we know that the whole story of Andor was how he got into the rebellion, and when the last thing we saw last week was him basically getting his money after the heist and taking off to live his life. So this week we caught up with him, trying to going back to his hometown. He went to go and try to get his mom out of there, his adopted mom, and his mom was like no. And then he went after the girl that he cared about, Bix, and Bix said no. So he was like, all right, forget it. Nobody wants to go. I'm gonna leave. But I thought before he left, he had a conversation with his mom, and he was like, listen, like, why don't you want to go? Like, what's going on? And she was basically talking about how the robbery motivated her to stand up to the Empire, because in their eyes, if some group like that could stand up to the Empire, then why couldn't she? So we kind of saw how some of his actions indirectly started inspiring people, which I thought was like a really cool thing to see. And then also we saw how the Empire responded. They're getting ready to put the clamps down on everything and try to find out what it is and snuff out the rebellion. That's kind of like their goal. I thought it was pretty cool how they name dropped Palpatine like 5 times in the episode. You know what I mean? So even though you didn't get to see him, you felt his presence. And at the end of the episode, you think Andor gets away. Obviously, if you watch Rogue One, that's not how this plays out. But he's in a new planet, in a new place, on a beach planet. The Empire's there, but he's like, I guess in his mind, if I don't mess with them and change my identity, they're not gonna mess with me. And he goes about doing his own thing until he inadvertently meets a stormtrooper in the middle of them rounding up some people. And the guy manipulates him and automatically associates with him. He gets choked out by one of the robots, one of the droids that were in Rogue One that he didn't want to deal with. So we kind of know where his fear of droids comes from. And then he gets sentenced to jail for 6 years for something that he didn't even remotely do or have a part in. And that's not to say that he's not deserving, because as we know, he's killed people, but he basically unfairly gets put into jail. So I imagine that's probably what pushes him or motivates him to go ahead and stand up to the Empire, because at this point, now he's being directly impacted too. So I thought that was a really interesting twist to his story. It was something that I didn't expect at all, and I really liked the way the show carried out. Honestly, if I had to put a rating on the show right now with that episode, I think I'd give it an 8 to maybe an even 8.5. I think it was a really strong episode.
Really high. Yeah, that's I have to agree with you there. The episode was really good. The show's doing really well. I'm slowly getting more into it and more progressively liking it. Me personally, I have to give the episode I would say like a 6.5.
Okay,
it's not one of my favorite shows. I'm still missing a few things from it, but I am enjoying it. So.
Let me ask you a question. With the direction that they think that they're going, obviously we don't know how the rest of the episode plays out, what the rest of the seasons plays out, but with the way the direction that they're taking, do you think it's something that you could see yourself really enjoying?
I think it's something I definitely got to rewatch when everything releases. I think it's not I think it potentially has a chance of me enjoying it more and me fully getting into it. But I think it's something that it has to be a rewatch, and it's something I fully got to get into. I was never a big fan of Rogue One. The only thing that I really liked from Rogue One was the ending scene.
Well, who doesn't like that ending scene? That
exactly.
ending scene was crazy.
But like
That's
the
probably one of the
whole
best Vader clips
thing
of all
with
time.
Rogue One, like there was certain things when I can't remember the actor's name, but he plays Ip Man, was walking out and
I
was
want to
like,
call him Donnie.
I I I I don't remember.
Donnie
Yeah,
Yen?
but when he was walking out and was like, I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me, I couldn't. I'm like,
That was a really
either
crazy
these
scene, man.
stormtroopers just need to retire and not ever shoot anything in their life ever again, or
Yeah, that was crazy. Wasn't
like this man is
it? Donnie
invincible.
Yen. Yeah, I was right. Cool.
So like it stuff like that just frustrated me with the whole show, the whole movie. So when this show was based off of that, it just like
Oh, so I'm sorry. So I got confused. So you didn't like that scene?
I didn't like that scene.
That's crazy. I thought the scene was really cool.
I thought it was like this man is walking in a blind man walking in a straight line,
It's his
and no one
belief
can
in the
hit him.
Force.
But
that protected
no
him.
stormtrooper was able to land one
Bro,
shot
but
before he did all that.
We've seen Jedi do crazier things. So how is one man walking through a bunch
He's a
of bullets
blind old
who
man
believes in the Force?
blind man walking super slow in a straight line.
Josiah,
It's
he
a
believes
simple shot.
in the Force, right? And he's using. I mean, he could be manipulating the Force. He could be Force sensitive.
Nah.
So after everything that we've seen Jedi do and Sith do, you think it's really super crazy that a blind man who potentially could feel the Force evades a bunch of lasers. When we've seen
When
Darth
he
Vader
walked
pull
in a
down
straight,
ships, when we've seen
when he walked in a straight line, and not one 500 bullets went past him, and not one hit,
it's the Force,
not even legitimately like skid his leg.
it's the
No.
Force,
No, okay, whatever. But
the Force.
yeah, it's besides the point. It's just a show that I'm struggling to fully get into. But
Okay, I mean I respect that opinion.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see. We have a few more episodes left, so maybe the next few episodes do more to change your opinion on the show.
Yeah.
I think it's a really strong show.
all right,
We have Tales of the Jedi next week, so
let's go.
That's
I'm
gonna
excited
be.
for.
The episodes are really short though, right?
But I'm still excited for it.
Yeah, me too. But I'm kind of disappointed in that. But we'll see what happens. So, okay, yeah. So, Andor comes out every Wednesday. So, next Wednesday we'll talk about that as well with Tales of the Jedi. So,
Yep. To continue this episode of the podcast, we got a couple things from Marvel that we want to talk about. This is Egg's Corner.
yeah. Me just have been going back and forth on whether we wanted to talk about it since we didn't really talk about the trailers yet.
You gotta make sure you're talking into the mic, bro.
Oh, since we didn't
you keep pulling left and right.
Since we didn't, I apologize, guys. Since we didn't talk about the trailer, because we didn't know something we were gonna watch, so I ended up watching finally Werewolf by Night, and I was pleasantly surprised. I'll say that much. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think there was a lot of hype around it, which is one of the things that really got me curious about watching it. People were saying, "Oh, it's some of the greatest stuff Marvel's ever given us," blah blah blah. And I watched it, and it was really good, but it was also really short. So that was kind of disappointing for me because I wish they would have done more to give us more story on some of these characters. The whole black and white thing I thought was really cool though. I really want to give them credit for how they did that. They had one thing in color the entire time, which I think is called the Bloodstone, which is what the whole story was basically about. So that was a really cool thing. Ted, for those who've watched that, I thought Ted was great, man. I like me some Ted, and hopefully we get to see Ted in future Marvel stuff. I thought he was really funny. And so I felt like it was, my complaints were that I felt like it was really short. I liked the black and white. I also enjoyed that it felt like something that our parents would have watched, or even our grandparents would have watched back in the day on TV. You know what I mean? I kind of had that kind of style to it. Everything felt like really campy, kind of cheesy in a sense. It had that kind of music. The costumes were like the werewolf. You could clearly tell that it was somebody in a suit. You know what I mean? Which I thought at first I was like, oh man, like why didn't they make him like a legitimate werewolf? But then I was like, you know what? Actually, that's really cool. I really enjoyed that they did that. You know what I mean? So there was stuff that was really good about it. I would definitely rewatch it again. I don't see how they fit into the MCU, but who knows? You know, maybe they'll give them another special. My only complaint was that it wasn't long enough, so we didn't get enough time with some of the characters to really fall for them, I guess, in a sense. But 7.5 out of 10. So
Nice. Alrighty. So you didn't see anything that like it ties in with the MCU?
no, you know, if I mean maybe I missed it. Maybe it's something that I missed, but maybe I know that the some stuff that I was reading online mentioned how I guess how the characters could fit in, or you know, I guess how they've fit in the past. But I haven't I don't have enough information right now to really say. So it was I guess a fresh introduction for me. So everything is really fresh. So I didn't know much about anything. I went to it kind of blind, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad it's something that I watched. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more on the creepier horror side, you know, given the time frame that it came out in, but it wasn't anything like that at all. I thought it was pretty typical for Marvel.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Anything else to add from that? Any ratings you want to give it?
Yeah. I think I said 7.5 out of 10.
7.5.
Yeah, very
10?
solid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then, you know, I was like, man, where would I put this as far as, you know, Marvel shows that we've gotten? And after I was done watching it, the little trailer for Moon Knight came up, and I was like, yeah, it's not better than Moon Knight. I think as far as Marvel shows, Moon Knight has got to be top 3. Moon Knight was incredible.
Moon Knight was top tier. I agree with that. Alrighty, yeah. To continue this podcast, staying on the Marvel side.
Oh, really quick.
Oh,
if you guys have not watched it, you guys are interested in watching it, Werewolf by Night is on Disney Plus right now.
Yep.
And it's about an hour long, so.
Yeah. To continue this podcast, staying on the Marvel side, we got a little Black Panther short clip tease. I guess a teaser trailer, a little short 45-second thing that we're going to watch and give our opinions of what we see and what's to come with the new Black Panther movie coming out in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Let's take a look.
He's coming.
Without the Black Panther, Wakanda will fall.
Vibranium, he's covered in it.
That can't be good.
Let's go! Now is our time. To strike.
Marvel Studios, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Only in theaters, November 11th. Get tickets now.
I can't kill.
Yo, so we got November 11th.
Yeah.
Tickets are available now. If you haven't got your tickets,
we haven't got our tickets. Yeah. We I think that trailer is actually pretty interesting. I sent it to Jay the minute I saw it, because I think that for everybody that was speculating and had good guesses that it was Shuri, I think that trailer basically confirms that the new Black Panther is going to be Shuri. There was a clip, I think, right at the 38-second mark where she's doing a backflip off the ship, and she's shooting away with the blasters, her wrist launchers, or whatever you want to call them, that she normally uses in fighting. So I thought that was a pretty good confirmation. We got to see more shots of Namor fighting, which he looks incredible. I think those are gonna be my favorite scenes. Him zipping around through the air, him basically taking on Wakandan ships by himself. And Baku went to strike him with his club, and he basically broke it on Namor's arm in one hit. So, and then I thought that was a crazy scene where he kind of, they did the voiceover, and he was like, "Hey, the Black Panther's not here." No, basically saying them, "Yo, you guys aren't safe anymore. The Black Panther's not here to save you." You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna be a really strong, emotionally packed movie. I'm hoping that Marvel hasn't given away too much by what they've given us with the trailers. I think it would have been cool if they would have kept the Black Panther stuff kind of hidden until the very end. But who knows? Maybe they know what they're doing. Obviously, They did it with the Spider-Man trailers where they didn't give us anything up until the very end. So maybe they're fooling us. They're tricking us a little bit. We think we're getting a lot, but in reality, there's so much more to the movie. And I was reading somewhere too that allegedly the movie is going to be 2 hours and 41 minutes. So
pretty decently
decent
sized movie.
Yeah, it might. I don't. It might be the longest. It might be the top 5 longest Marvel movie because
I think Endgame still has that beat.
Yeah, I know it's not longer than Endgame or Infinity War, but it's got to be pretty close to them.
Like
at 2 hours and 41 minutes.
Yeah. I prefer longer movies, me personally.
Yeah, me too.
I like it. It doesn't feel rushed. It gives more time to tell a story, get the emotions out. I think what I was telling me and Egg were talking a little bit off cam. I like that they passed over the mantle of Black Panther to his sister. I think it only makes sense with his passing away that if they're gonna do the same thing in the movie where they make it that he passes away or whatever, it only makes sense that she takes over the mantle because she's the next one to the heir or to the throne, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to see how Ironheart and her suits, because her suits are looking pretty.
Yeah, her suits
Tony
are
Stark
really
level
cool,
or better.
Man. Her suits are.
Yeah.
I don't think they're Tony Stark level, but they look really
They
impressive.
look insane.
You know what I mean? They look really.
I'm curious if they're gonna be vibranium suits.
Oh, that would be insane too.
She has a vibranium suit.
Her
it's a
and Captain
possibility.
America with the vibranium suits in.
Yeah, but looking forward to that. Seeing more to what's to come. Do you think this is gonna be like one and done after Black Panther 2? We're not getting a part 3 or something, or a continuation.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be really dependent on how people receive the movie. Like I think if the movie flops, then I can see them being like, you know what, like maybe this was the route that we needed to take. Let's recast T'Challa because we have the multiverse, so we can do that. And let's reintroduce him and have another director or Ryan Coogler.
I don't know how I feel with that. But
them recasting?
Yeah,
I think I'd be fine with it.
I don't know. It all depends how well she does in this movie. But I think it's fine with the route they're taking with it. I think
they need to bring back Killmonger.
Killmonger would be cool to bring back.
I'm a Killmonger fan.
That'd be cool. I think there's a lot of stuff that it has potential of being the best of Phase 4. Because Phase 4...
Yeah, we're talking about it.
Has not been on its A game, so this has a potential to take the cake for that, which it's not a pretty high thing to do. So they definitely have the opportunity for it.
I mean, the only thing good, except we've gotten out of Phase, we keep saying all the time, is that I can think off the top of my head has been for me personally, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, and then everything else falls underneath those 3 things.
See, I don't like. As much as it is the start of Phase 4, to me that feels like the ending of Phase 3 when it comes down to Shang-Chi and Spider-Man.
Really?
Like, I know it's part of Phase 4, but I feel like that's more Phase 3 side in a sense. Like, because those movies to me, those take the cake if we're going off of Phase 4 then. Like, then we're going off of like, okay. But I'm talking about like, from the TV shows that they have made with Phase 4 and the movies other than Shang-Chi and Spider-Man, everything else has been a letdown. Other than Moon Knight. But everything else has been a letdown. I did like Thor Love and Thunder. I personally did like that.
How many times have you watched it?
3 times.
3 times?
3 times I've seen Thor Love and Thunder. I do like the movie a lot.
Wow.
But I think Black Panther is going to take the cake for me. The cinematography looks amazing with the trailers, so I can only imagine the movie. It's like a mixture of...
their music, too. Their music has been
really the music has been fire. It's like a mixture of like Avatar with superheroes, pretty much. So, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I get that feel, too, with especially with Namor.
Yeah.
And how the Atlanteans look.
Yeah, I have no complaints of that.
No, me either.
Alrighty. Yeah, once that comes out, me and Egg watch it. We'll definitely give our reviews, what we think this means for the Phase 5 future, and any spoilers ahead from that. But speaking about spoilers, let's get into our DC Comics section
Yeah, so
of the podcast.
if you guys, just to give you guys a heads up, it'll be Sunday by the time this comes out, but this has been spoiled for some time now because they've gotten a bunch of interviews. But just the disclaimer: if you guys have not watched Black Panther, I mean not Black Panther, Black Adam, and you guys do not want to be spoiled, me and just start talking about something that happens at the end credits. So give yourself a break right here. Final warning.
Pause and skip ahead.
Yeah.
If you need to. Because we do have one more topic we're going to talk about after this, which is a big topic. Not that big.
Big for Josiah.
Big for me. Black Adam, that ending credits scene. What does this mean for DC?
Yeah, just to give you guys a little rundown. Basically, it looks like Amanda Waller's in the end credit scene. Just to give you guys a quick description, Amanda Waller's talking to Black Adam. She's like, "Yo, you have my attention, and that's fine. You can stay wherever you're at. But the minute that you kind of step out of that place, you're gonna have to answer to somebody." And Black Adam was like, "There's nobody on this earth that could stop me." And she's like, "The guy that I'm talking about is not from this earth." And he was like, "Basically, bring him on." And Amanda Waller was like, "Okay." And he destroys a little hologram projection of Amanda Waller, and out the smoke comes out my boy Henry Cavill as Batman. Affleck. Now it's my boy Henry Cavill back as Superman.
He is one of the he is Superman.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. If you guys want to look it out there, it's out there. Me and Josiah, we're not gonna show it on the podcast. It's not official video. It's leaked bootleg footage. And we're just not going to show it here. But we have seen it. I've seen it. I know Josiah, you've seen it. It's all over the place. And when I saw it, man, I got chills, man. Superman has Man of Steel is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. I've seen it, at least 20 times, maybe more. I think it's an incredible movie. And to see him back after, everybody who's been a big DC fan has been advocating for him. It was kind of crazy to me, man. The last time we saw him was in Justice League, but to see him back in the blue, and the red and blue was pretty crazy. Josiah, what did you think when you saw the clip?
So, I kind of suspected this of him coming back and making an appearance in either, I wouldn't say Black Adam, I would say more like Shazam 2. Reason being, because at the end of Shazam 1, the post-credit scene was him in the school with Captain Marvel and his brother, Billy's brother. So I kind of suspected Superman to make a return to DC, with maybe making a Superman and Shazam movie. Well, this kind of like confirmed it. It looks like it's gonna be like a Superman Shazam team up versus Black Adam, or who knows? Does Black Adam help them with something? But it's Black Adam. They're gonna team up against them.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I kind of figured that. I didn't expect them to come out in the post-credit scenes of the movie Black Adam. I think that was a big shocker. Henry Cavill is the face of Superman, but I do like the
DC.
No, the TV show Superman.
Oh, Tyler Hoechlin.
Yeah, I think he does an awesome
I
job
agree with you as well.
He is also a Superman as well. And I do like the TV show's Lois Lane better than the DC's Lois Lane.
Amy Adams.
Yeah. Me personally.
Is it Amy Adams? I think it is Amy Adams.
Me personally, I do like that, like her better. But nonetheless, I think the DC has a potential to make their movies good. They did well with the Batman movie. Black Adam. Have we seen the reviews on Black Adam? How's that doing, Egg? Do you know?
The audience reviews are a lot better than the critics' reviews, but we've known for a long time not to trust critic Rotten Tomato reviews because they're all over the place. So they gave She-Hulk like a 80 something, didn't they? Give She-Hulk a crazy good score.
Yeah.
No.
So Black Adam, for you guys don't know, the Rotten Tomato 43% from critics, 88% from audience.
Yeah.
So it's doing well.
Big.
And then for She-Hulk, they gave The audience gave it a 35%, and then the critics gave it a 76.
Yeah, now some of that is review bombing, but She-Hulk was disappointing,
Yeah.
especially at the end.
And then the Batman movie itself, 85% from critics, 87% from audience.
Okay.
So right
Look
now,
at Man of Steel real quick.
the Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Black Adam is doing better than the Batman movie when it comes to audience score.
Yeah, the people love it.
But to be fair, the Batman has been out a lot longer. So critics gave Man of Steel 56% and audience score is 75%.
That's crazy.
So
That's actually crazy.
but again, Man of Steel, the Black Adam just came out recently, yesterday. We're filming this on Friday, if you didn't know, yesterday. So it's gonna go down. So right now,
What if it doesn't?
It's gonna go down. Most movies usually go down after a while, because that's only 1,000 plus. When you're talking about Man of Steel having 100,000 plus.
Oh, that is a pretty big difference.
Yeah, so it has a potential of going down, but right now it's doing well. DC just needs to get their storylines straight. I think that's where they suffer at. The actors, they don't choose terrible actors, but they just choose terrible. They have terrible writing, and their stories are all over the place. You got a story here, you got a story there, you got a story here, and it never all connects how Marvel does. So I think that's an issue.
It looks like they're trying to do that now.
They need to. You
Because
really do?
Amanda Waller was in
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. She was in Suicide Squad, and I feel like she was in something else too.
Was it Batman versus Superman?
She might have been. I can't remember right now.
I think it was Batman versus Superman.
All right, but for sure we know she was in Suicide Squad. So that's James Gunn and David Ayers, and now she shows up in Black Adam. It's a completely different director, and then we have Henry Cavill, who was Zack Snyder, and now he's also with this other director who did Black Adam. So it looks like they're starting to connect certain things together. So hopefully we do get a more cohesive universe out of them. I don't know how Josiah feels. I'm not sure if I'm gonna watch Black Adam. So I can't really speak too much on the movie, but I feel like that one end credit scene might have a bigger impact on the overall DC universe than potentially anything that the movie gave us outside of introducing some of these characters like Dr. Fate and Hawkman and Adam and things of that nature. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I think like I said, we only saw the end credit scene. We haven't watched the full movie. So we don't know if there's any more things that tie in with that. But we're going based off of that end credit scene of what they're trying to do and what we predict is going to be the future of DC. And we don't know if Dr. Fate, the Atom, Hawkman and Hawkgirl is going to make a big difference in the I wanted to say the MCU, the DC universe. But I gotta be honest with you, Egg. This has me more excited now to watch Shazam 2, because I'm very curious to see, and like Flashpoint and stuff, because I'm very curious to see where they're gonna go with all this now. Because Flashpoint, maybe that what alters the timeline for them to start connecting things again. And then
maybe Ben Affleck comes back as well, because
please don't.
He said no.
No.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not a Ben Affleck.
I'm a Batfleck fan. I'll say it right here right now.
I like him as an older Bruce Wayne. I think
I heart Batfleck.
I think he does a really really good job.
He's better than Patterson.
Nah, Patterson did really well.
Patterson did good. That doesn't mean he's Batfleck.
Christian Bale is the best Batman. But we're not gonna have this argument again.
Not today. Not today. Because Josiah's wrong. It doesn't matter. So
I'm never wrong.
We're not doing this either way.
But I'm just curious to see if that's gonna make a big difference with that Flashpoint movie, and then lead into Shazam that they're making, and what more are they gonna try to make and trying to make
Well,
it connect.
Aquaman 2 confirms gonna have Batfleck.
Aquaman 2,
So it's gonna be interesting to see how they kind of tie these,
all this.
how they start tying certain things together. And I think it's the right thing for them to do, for them to sit there and be like, "Yo, listen, like, Marvel was carried for at least 10 years on the backs of its like main heroes, right? Iron Man, Captain America, Thor." These guys were who was the face of Marvel for a long time, and then they started introducing characters slowly, but those were our main people. DC needs to do the same with as long as Henry Cavill could play Superman, have him play Superman. As long as, whether it's Pattinson or Batfleck, as long as they have one of those that's willing to play Batman, let him play Batman. You know what I mean? And have Gal Gadot come back as Wonder Woman. Have their Justice League set up and build off of their Justice League, kind of like what Marvel did, and give us something, like Josiah said, that's cohesive. Give us an overall story and give us time to really enjoy these characters. And if they do that, I think that they'll get the things right. They definitely took a step in the right direction. I like that. And The Rock came out and said it. We're listening to you guys, and we're trying to give you what it is that you guys want, which I think is great, because I think that's one of the things that MCU kind of did good, where they didn't ignore what the people were saying to them. They gave us
with their TV shows.
Yeah, what?
Other than with their TV shows.
Yeah, but everybody's perfect, right? Nobody's perfect, but overall, they've been giving us what we've wanted to see, or they've been putting out good stuff. They didn't sit there and like do what DC did, which I thought was crazy. Real quick before we move on to Josiah's Corner, I thought it was crazy that The Rock, or Dwayne Johnson, I stopped calling him The Rock, basically came out and said, "Hey, I've been trying to push for Henry Cavill to come back as Superman in my movie for the last 6 years, and the top brass at DC said no, 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 no every single time for 6 years," which is insane, considering that I feel like anytime you see anything DC online, the number one thing that's said is, "Yo, bring back Henry Cavill and restore the Snyderverse." And the people at DC were just like, "No, no, 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 no. We're gonna shoot ourselves in the foot at every single possible turn over here."
I don't think they can bring back the Snyderverse.
I think why not?
Because I think they already screwed it up so much.
No, they
in
can
in a sense where, like, what I mean by that is, we're gonna stay on this topic for a while. What I mean about that is, like, okay, we got Man of Steel. We got Batman vs Superman. We got 2 Wonder Womans, 1 Aquaman, 1 Shazam, and we got like, Ben Affleck should have got his own Batman movie. Instead, they made Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Okay.
Which I think messes up, because everyone loved that movie so much. It's like, we want to see more of this Batman. We want to see more of that. So if you're going and making this different series of Batman and having another Batman in this universe, I think it's dumb.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but
and then
it's the same thing. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. In the same sense where you have Henry Cavill coming in with Black Adam, like Shazam, he made an appearance, and then when you go into Shazam 2, if he doesn't do anything big in there, what was the point of him making that appearance?
You know, I disagree with that, because you didn't have to have Iron Man in every single thing that Marvel put out. Well,
but that's not what I'm saying.
I know. I mean, but I get what you're saying in a sense. But you're like, okay, what's the point of having him there? The point of having him there was them letting us know, hey, Henry Cavill's still here and he's still a part of our future plans. So even if we don't show him in Shazam 2, know that we're going to do something with him.
But what I'm trying to say is, after Shazam 1, the end credit scene was Henry Cavill as Superman.
Yeah, but it wasn't serious toned. So I don't, and it wasn't Henry Cavill Superman, because all we saw was Superman from the neck down.
You know it was Henry Cavill.
I mean, that's what they were trying to imply, but it wasn't Henry Cavill.
Because it was his suit.
It was his suit, but it wasn't the actor there.
Yeah.
We didn't see his face.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, at that point, Shazam should have been part of Justice League. Because Shazam...
No, well, I think Shazam came out after Justice League.
Or the next Justice League movie, we need Martian Manhunter and Shazam to make an appearance in that.
Or maybe, but we're dealing with time travel, too. So with the whole nightmare future, right? That's a lot of the heroes are already dead, so we really don't need those guys. They can go ahead and make Justice League 2 have it be the nightmare future, and have the Flash basically go back and stop everything and continue on with the universe like nothing happened.
Which
Well,
they
not
can
like
do with the
nothing happened.
Flashpoint.
Yeah,
Because
and
Flashpoint,
just
the
do it
whole point
again.
of Flashpoint is Flash runs back in time and mess up the time.
Well,
sequence.
listen, it's the same thing with kind of like what Marvel's doing with Loki. Loki's doing all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it hasn't affected anything in the timeline as of yet.
I think
Give us
Marvel
Batfleck and give us Superman and stop messing around. Give us Justice League.
I don't think we need Batfleck.
Finish the Justice League story, even if you guys don't do listen, just finish the movie.
No.
I guarantee it'll make you a lot of bread and it'll make the people happy, and then just continue on with your own universe. And you know what? So. Take Pattinson and give him his own real gritty universe, and that's it, and be done.
Nah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I disagree with that.
No, I agree. And let me tell you why it'll work.
Go.
When Man of Steel came out, we had just gotten. It wasn't too long after we had Nolan's third Batman movie, so they could have technically used Nolan's Batman in what they were doing moving forward, but they didn't. Right? They did their own thing, and Man of Steel worked, and Nolan's Batman was still fine. You could do the exact same thing.
But Nolan's Batman, you had Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and then Dark Knight Rises, and then Man of Steel came out.
Yeah,
Man of Steel was the origin for the Cena universe. So it went Man of Steel. No, it went Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Batman versus Superman, I think Shazam, Aquaman, and then Aquaman, Justice League, and then Shazam.
Okay, I don't even know what the order is, and
so I think the problem, like, again, we already know. I think we had Man of Steel. That was the origin of Superman. That's fine. Keep Henry Cavill as Superman. We already had two bad Wonder Woman movies. She's ready Wonder Woman. Fine, keep her. Aquaman, same thing. We already had an Aquaman origin movie. Fine, keep him. Same thing with Shazam. Batman is the only thing that it's struggling, and then the Flash now with Flashpoint.
But here's the thing with the Batman
I think
thing.
You got to keep them.
And here's the thing with the Batman thing. What you're saying is basically they got to make a decision on whether they want to use Batman or Pattinson or Batfleck, right?
Correct. No, and I think they should use, me personally, as much as I loved Pattinson, I think they got to use Ben Affleck. Reason being is Pattinson looks way too young to be with the other actors.
Personally, I think that they can sit there and give us a separate Batfleck story, because the animated movies do it all the time. It isn't anything new that they're doing or not doing with the animated movies, because you know that all the DC animated movies do not all connect. A large portion of them do, but
they made a whole New 52 series where they all connect.
Yeah, those. But how many other ones do not connect?
But those are different. I understand what you're going with it.
So
it's
the exact same
but
thing.
They're not combining. I guess I guess Robin Pattinson never jumped into the Snyderverse, so they could make it where he doesn't even
give him his 3 movies and be done.
Yeah.
And use Batfleck and do whatever they're gonna do with Batfleck, and then kill him off. And if they want to do something with Flashpoint and bring back a Batman because they have to have a Batman, then bring back Pattinson.
They gotta have a Batman. For the
I
Justice
guess.
League, you need a Batman.
Well, you know what? The next thing we were going to talk about might be proving that we really don't need a Batman.
For what? Gotham Knights?
Yeah.
But those are Batman's proteges.
All right, so what have Batman's proteges?
I mean, it's still basically having Batman.
It's not having Batman.
It's
Batman's proteges.
All right. So let's get into Gotham Knights.
All right.
So for Gotham Knights,
this is Josiah's corner, by the way, because I have not played the game.
No, I'm not gonna say it's my corner because we're gonna go back to continuing why the proteges. With Gotham Knights, how the game started out. A little spoilers for those who haven't played it or is gonna play it, or this is spoiler warning ahead. So how the game started out, Batman was in a battle with an assassin, Come to find out, the assassin was Ra's al Ghul. And they were fighting in the Batcave. Ra's al Ghul ended up. I didn't complete the game. This is just how far I got into it. Ra's al Ghul ended up dying with Batman because Batman ended up blowing up the Batcave and sent out Code
Black.
Yeah, Code Black, that he's died and that the proteges need to come and help. Alfred was out of town when this happened. Bruce Wayne sent them on vacation. So he wasn't there to help him. Then by the time the proteges got there, they found Batman's dead body. They ended up having a funeral for Batman, and they were going to continue off of what Batman started, his mission. Ra's al Ghul also was dead. He was in the morgue, and his Alfred blamed himself. Everyone blamed themselves for the death of Batman, and they felt like they could have done more to save him. So then that's when they formed, I guess, like their team, the Gotham Knights. So they all
They call
now.
themselves that in the game?
No, not really.
What do they call themselves?
They don't call themselves
The
really
Teen Titans?
the Teen Titans.
Young Justice?
So they're all working on these different cases. The game is interesting. What I told Egg, the fighting in the game reminds me of the Spider-Man games. It's very basic. You just click square. For the PS5 users, you click square, and it pretty much does all these flips, tricks, and same thing like the Spider-Man game. And you click circle for the blocking and all that. So the fighting is very basic. It's very different than the original Batman games. It does still have a really good potential. I think they did go a little cheap with the graphics in the game. The graphics are not the best that it could have been. But the story does look like it's going to be really good and really amazing. I'm caught up all the way to the part where Talia was burning her father's corpse for he doesn't come back with the Lazarus pit. So that was how far I got in the game, which was an interesting to see her burning the corpse of Ra's al Ghul and not wanting him to come back from the Lazarus pit. But so far, I played as Nightwing. I'm looking forward to. I'm now gonna play as Red Hood. I'm gonna play each one of them and see which one I like the best. But right now, I played as Nightwing so far.
I was just about to ask you that. Do you have if you had a preference? But you answered that. So you actually answered a lot of the questions I was gonna ask you because I haven't played the game. I've only seen some of the reviews out there. It has mixed reviews, which is kind of surprising and a little bit disappointing, just for me, just based on how good the trailers were for the game. But like we mentioned in the podcast, sometimes these critics the reviews aren't great. You know what I mean? Sometimes their reviews can be off. And look at the two of the examples we showed you in Black Adam and She-Hulk. So Josiah, just with what you've played, what would you give the game so far?
Honestly, I think a 7 to an 8.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to more of the story. I do like the feel of the game. It is like pretty smooth. The graphics, like I said before, could have been better. The fighting is just like the Spider-Man game, so I'm not too upset about the fighting. Like, it's not like a real big like disappointment. I find it interesting as well in the game that the story, like, I expected the story to be like each character plays out the story, like has their own mission and plays out their story. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be jumping from character to character. That's not how it is. You can pick the character you want to play throughout the story. So I can play half of the story as Nightwing and the other half as Red Hood, or one mission as Nightwing, switch over Red Hood, switch over to Black Girl, switch over. So each one you can pick the story, and I kind of like the fact that individual character has its own unique abilities and its own style of fighting. I think that's cool to see, because you can base it off of that mission. If you want to do, if it's going to be more of a stealthy mission, you probably want to go with Robin. If it's going to be more of a trying to get information out of someone, Red Hood. Hack a system, Batgirl. A dance battle, Nightwing.
A dance battle.
I don't know. I lost scenarios in my head.
No, I feel you, man. I feel you.
Or like if he's gonna they're gonna fight like a heavy boss, you probably gonna want to go with Nightwing because he has the most experience out of all of them. He has the more training, so like you can decide your own story and how you want to play it.
So it's all one big story. It's not 4 different stories that melt together.
So you can technically play it solo, or you can play it co-op or multiplayer online. Which I think I'm gonna just continue playing solo until you get the game, and then we can jump on together.
Okay.
So,
all right, man. So when you beat the game, we'll probably have a different or one of us beats the game, we'll probably have a different conversation in regards to the game and how we feel overall. But I guess it's interesting to see, your thoughts and opinions on the game versus what I've been reading online, which is some people saying it's a dumpster fire and other people saying that it's a beautiful game.
I think for me, I enjoy simple. I don't want to have to. I play those type of games. I play it for the story aspect of it, not the competitive feel of it. So I think I have a different opinion with that. Like for the Spider-Man games and the Miles Morales and stuff, I play it for the story aspect. Like, I feel like if you wanted to overly complicate a game, for that, just play a competitive FPS game or a competitive MOBA game. Don't really, if that makes sense. Like, it's a story game. I shouldn't have to click 15 buttons for my character to throw one punch. I enjoyed the fact that it's simple. It does the job. Yeah, the fighting can be a little bit better maybe if I click 1 or 2 more buttons. But I enjoyed the fact it's a simple movement-based game. Just playing for the story, and that's it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Doesn't need to be overly complicated. I don't need to become a master combat fighter, get a black belt in karate to be able to play this game. No. Yeah, I just want to play my simple game, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
I like it. I enjoy it.
I'm looking forward to trying it out, and I'll base your conversation. So, guys, thank you guys for hanging out with us so much on this episode. Me and Omi just talked about a lot of things and went a little bit off script here, but appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Next week we'll have Tales of the Jedi and Andor. So
a little bit of more Gotham Knights. Maybe I beat the game by then.
That's true too. So we'll have all those things for you guys next week, man. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you guys next week. Same channel, same place, same time. J&D, we're signing out. Yo, peace.
Catch you guys later.